Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Vox, and Steven Universe ships are wild. And I'm not referring to fandom ships that have no bearing to the show. I mean, what the Crewniverse themselves have inserted over the course of the Steven Universe franchise's entire run. Lapis and Peridot, Amethyst and Peridot, Amethyst and Pearl, Pearl and Volleyball, Pearl and Mystery Girl, Bismuth and Lapis. Granted, most of the flirtation was in Unleash the Light, but their chemistry is absolutely illustrated through body language in both Change Your Mind and the movie. When it comes to shipping with the gems, not the minor, you really can't fault anyone for the ship because chances are the series has played into it even late in the game. Prometheus shippers, you stayed strong in season 1, and the crew went as far as keeping your ship alive all the way until the movie. But when it comes to the champion of these ships, we know the winners by this point. Ruby and Sapphire, or Rufire, or, Garnet. Steven and Connie. I think Jamie moved away after Garnet got married to herself. No wait, there he is in the movie. After Spinel, he was probably just fed up with Beach City Peridot's content with loving herself and her friends platonically, as one of the storyboarders who shipped Peridot with Amethyst confirmed on social media after In Dreams that Peridot is intended to be the ace in era representation. This was a conversation they had behind the scenes, which likely means this was the intentions from Sugar herself. And if you're thinking, what was with all those cute moments then? Blushing around Amethyst and then all the flirty moments of Lapis? And to that I just have to say, you know, people who identify as ace can still find people cute and attractive even if it isn't a sexual attraction. They can still have romantic feelings. And if you identify as aromantic, you can still compliment your friends, call them cute, have a grand old time with them. Not to mention, and this applies with the relationships and dynamics as a whole, Steven Universe is all about figuring yourself out. And I have friends who identify as ace or aro or both, whom at one point identified as something different, but as they figured themselves out, they came to the conclusion, no yeah, platonic relationships rule. But out of all the ships that seem to have survived until the very end, the one that appears to have surprised everyone the most is Pearl and Bismuth. Bismuth seems to have romantic feelings for Pearl, as that point was blatantly driven home in Bismuth Casual. And now that the series is over, a lot of people are looking at one scene from the finale and taking it in as an indication that one day there will be another Crystal Gem wedding. So let's talk about that. The first place I want to start is that the acknowledgement of the ship in canon should not have been as big of a surprise as it was. The first thing Pearl did when she laid her eyes on a resurfaced Bismuth was burst into tears and soar into her arms. Granted, this is the first time seeing her friend who she assumed was long dead for thousands of years. That would invoke an emotional reaction within anyone. But even with that in mind, their chemistry in the scene was high and flirtatious. And right off the bat, you can tell that these two have a very strong admiration for each other. Bismuth poking fun and asking Pearl, who do you belong to? Pearl's independence is a huge part of her character. And although she really came to her own over the course of the original series, we can assume back in the days of the Gem War, the second command of the rebellion being a Pearl must have spoke volumes and deeply resonated with Bismuth. A staple of servitude spitting in the face of the system, saying, no, I'm my own person. I can do whatever I please, not what I'm commanded to do. Going off of Unleash the Light and the other business we encountered, it seems as if a rebellious streak is only natural within that cut of gems. So I think it's reasonable to assume that these two always clicked off the bat. And we know that Pearl shares that admiration, holding Bismuth in a high regard, and essentially being her cheerleader in Bismuth's debut. And while we're discussing the past, let me tell you, I think a big factor of this relationship that wasn't touched on in the show, but just thinking about it connects even more dots, is that at one point, it would have created a triangle between Rose, Pearl, and Bismuth. Because Pearl must have been regarded as the shit back in the day, she must have been quite popular within the Crystal Gem Rebellion. However, Bismuth, and any gem for that matter, probably would have been too intimidated to approach her in a more romantic manner, in fear of rose quartz being rubbed the wrong way. Granted, I'm sure Rose would have been fine with it, but even with the encouraging words of liberation, you don't want to mess with the leader's girl. Like, has anyone successfully put the moves on Starfire without Robin being pissed off? I think not. not. But because these two play such a big role in the rebellion, Bismuth supplying the group of weapons and upgrades, and again, Pearl becoming the poster child for independence, I think it makes sense that they always had a thing for each other, though I could see Pearl's feelings being a bit clouded due to her immense passion for Rose, yet ultimately, neither of them acted on it. Still, even after Bismuth attempted to murder Steven, though which gem hasn't, Pearl still welcomed Bismuth back into her life with open arms. In Reunited, it missed all the wedding reception mingling after Dewey tries to put the moves on Pearl, who looks beyond uninterested, and Ronaldo tries to explain armor to the literal master. Bismuth and Pearl end up next to each other as Bismuth catches Garnet's wedding bouquet, which is accompanied with the well-known superstition that whomever catches the bouquet at a wedding is the next one to get married. Ooh. But the foreshadowing and illusions don't end there, as when we jump to the finale episodes of Future, there's a very interesting detail that fans have been pointing out within the episode Everything's Fine. When Helpful Steven, or Diamond Steven, swings by Bismuth's armory to offer assistance, he drops in as Bismuth is getting a demonstration on wedding armor. Fans taking note of the model, Yellow Pearl. A pearl is the one being fitted for wedding armor. Armor for a pearl. And who's running this workshop with Bismuth? None other than, well, Pearl. Now, something Steven Universe's Future loves is continually jumping forward in time. Whether those jumps are big, such as a month or more between episodes, they can also just be days or weeks ahead. So I would not be surprised if the events of Everything's Fine and the first 3 episodes of the finale as a whole takes place some time after Bismuth Casual. The events of that episode could have got the ball rolling for a romantic relationship between the two characters. And even if they're not engaged yet, Bismuth can be saving this armor for whenever Pearl's ready. After all, Ruby and Sapphire's wedding was a major moment for Bismuth. Not only did it coincide with the reassurance that the gems still love her and want her in their lives, but she was the one who forged the wedding rings for Ruby and Sapphire. She played a huge role in such a crucial moment. So of course weddings is going to be something she takes seriously, and of course she would want Pearl to also wear armor, as her own armor is the nicest thing she owns. And I've done my research, wedding armor is an actual thing. This is surprisingly still a common practice in modern day, because if we're being honest, nerdy weddings are awesome. And with Rebecca Sugar stating in interviews that she has general ideas for the timelines of these characters, on top of the mention that certain arcs are moved from the original series to Future, with Reunited being an episode at the tail end of the original series, I think all of these instances, and what we can infer about their past, is very much intentional, and that there are wedding bells in their future. And I think it makes a lot of sense, even more so than Pearl and Volleyball. Pearl and Bismuth are both two prominent characters who have been hurt by Rose in ways more so than the other characters. Although, just like Volleyball, they are both people who have lost thousands of years of their lives because of Rose, although in different ways. Bismuth's and Volleyball's being a bit more literal, but you get the idea. Pearl deserves a happy ending to move on with someone else. And I think out of all the characters, it shouldn't be one of Pink's other lovers, or a human, although it's a nice gesture. It makes sense to be another gem that she has an extensive history with, that she has chemistry with, whom both have always shared a strong and intense admiration for one another, that both have baggage that stems from the same person. Now, when it comes to their wedding, Garnet better be involved. Steven's wedding planner for her wedding better come in handy, and if anything, Garnet better take a look at it first for Bismuth and Pearl before Connie and Steven. And you know Steven would go ham on their wedding as well. For everything Pearl has went through, on top of Steven already having an immense love for weddings, he would lose his mind hearing that Pearl is getting married, especially to Bismuth. While Steven is aware that he does need to take care of himself, that his feelings do matter, and he should put himself first when needed, we know the boy would do anything to help give these two a wedding to be remembered. And unlike Ruby and Sapphire's wedding, which was mainly comprised of the residents of Beach City, Pearl and Bismuth's wedding would be full of their comrades, the formerly corrupted gems. They are finally able to attend, and even any shattered gems. As we know, the Eldama is now able to restore and stabilize said shattered gems. It was a bummer for Ruby and Sapphire's wedding, but now it can make Pearl and Bismuth's wedding a larger scale grand event. And hey, this isn't to say that Ruby and Sapphire would have to live with the fact that their wedding was absent of their comrades forever. They can always renew their vows, do it all over again, with a full house. And I just think there's something about two gems getting married, indulging in human culture, but this time with a full house of humans and gems. It would very much be a reflection of not just their journey, but again, Steven's everlasting impact. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Do you want to see Bismuth and Pearl get married? If anyone has an objection as to why these two shouldn't wed, speak now or forever hold your peace. I always wanted to say that. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at RoundtableVids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to ARTWITHKODA for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at ARTWITHKODA, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox, signing out.